Can you believe April's next week? Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? I filmed like an end of the year going into 2026, shedding off 2025 video that I didn't edit and put out until like last week or the week before. But I figured it's probably appropriate to do a quarter of the year check-in. So yeah, March marks a quarter of the year. If you can believe it. Like, I know we know that, but it's just going by so fast. So I shared a lot of my shortcomings and successes from 2025 and kind of like what I expected and wanted for myself in 2026, and especially like goals. I do make a Notion template and like I put all my New Year's resolutions in there. So I figured I'd just kind of do like a check-in on like how all that is going, and also just like what the year is projected to look like and how different it looks now compared to when I filmed that video back in December. I know it's only been like 3 to 4 months, but yeah, life changes like crazy over here. What can I say? A lot of the things that I was looking forward to in 2026 is kind of like changing my habits and whatnot. So I figured we could spend a few days together to see what kind of habits I've been building and working on and how that's been going for me. I kind of mentioned that our lease ends here in June, which we are currently living with roommates. Anthony and I have been together for 5 years this year in September, and we've been living with roommates for like 3.5 years. We did live alone, just us two, for like a 6-month period of time, but we didn't make a lot of money, and I decided to go back to school to get my master's degree. It was going to bring on a new payment to our bills, and at the time we couldn't afford it, so we got a roommate, and ever since then we've just continued to have roommates. But June of this year we were expecting to move out and no longer have roommates. We like for a very short period of time changed our minds and we're like, okay, like maybe we're gonna do like our big move next year, because we do live in California but not where we want to live. It's actually in our hometown, which is not my favorite place ever, but it is relatively affordable here. And so we were gonna stay in this house until next January and be like, maybe we'll just do our big move next year, but it would be dependent on so many different factors that are just out of our control. Anthony would have needed to get a new job. I would have had to get a practicum placement for my marriage and family therapy like last year of grad school. We don't get to make those decisions, especially in this economy where everything is so unreliable with jobs and whatnot. So yeah, Anthony and I sat down and we were like, you know, like, let's look at buying a house maybe, which is also a crazy decision, but this is what you do when you're 25, I guess. You know, we've talked about buying a house before. It's been on our minds, and with all that being said, everything is kind of worked out, and we have been in escrow for like a month for a house, and we're expected to close on the house like in the next week or two, which is literally insane. I am so excited. And I was just talking to a girlfriend the other day about how sometimes I make really big decisions, and like going into those decisions I'll have a gut feeling of like being really anxious, like this isn't right, like I just don't know. And sometimes I choose not to listen to that gut feeling and I always regret it. But sometimes I get a gut feeling where I'm like, no, like this is good, this is right. And then the thing, we do it and it happens and my gut was right, it was good and it is right. Buying a home can be very emotional, and like this is a really big decision obviously, especially for Anthony and I. But throughout the whole process, especially since we've been in this process for like a month and a half now at least, I just feel like this sense of relief. Him and I have moved like 3 or 4 different times together over the 4 years going on 5 that we've been together, and we crave and I need, because I'm so type A, I need stability so bad. And we were talking about the next 5 years of our lives, and we were like, you know what, we're not going to live in our dream city in the next 5 years because we're choosing to buy a house in a more affordable city. But the choosing to buy a house in a more affordable city is still a good investment for us, number one. Number two, it provides us with stability. And number three, it gives us the ability to do what we want to do in the next 5 years of our lives, which is like travel and focus on our careers. Even though we're getting married this year, we don't want to start having kids until I, for sure, finish up all of my marriage and family therapy schooling and also get all my hours and hopefully my license. Like, I don't really want to have kids before that, and Anthony's totally on board with that. So we're just not really in a rush. So we were like, you know, we can make a good investment. Like, also, I just want to say, like, what a privilege to be able to afford to be able to buy a home. Like, we were just talking about how we know a lot of people that have always wanted to buy a home and have never been able to, like, be in the position to be able to do that. So I could not be more grateful for us being able to buy a home. So it's something that we're really excited about, but it is just a lot of change, like, very quickly. Today is March 25th. So we're expected to close, like I said, within the next week or two. So like kind of beginning of beginning of April-ish. And then our lease ends here in June. So I don't know when we're exactly like moving into the house, but we want to do like painting and stuff before we move in because we will be like overlapping a little bit. So that's really crazy and really exciting. That was not in the plans when I was talking to you in December about what 2026 is gonna look like for me. Kind of a huge update. Kind of a huge year, to be honest with you. Getting married and buying a house on the same year. Girl. Woo! We're gonna be taking a break in 2027, I'll tell you that much. Really fun, exciting news. In the big picture, it's a small piece of news, but the house has a pool. And if you know anything about me, I don't like where we live because our hometown is just so hot. It's so hot during summertime, you don't want to leave the house. And if you do leave the house, you want to spend money because you want to go somewhere air conditioned. And I'm not about that. And I do well when I can get outside every day. So summertime is my seasonal depression time. I thrive during fall and winter here. I am up during that time. Summertime comes around and I am depressy. It's not good. So the fact that this house has a pool, I can picture it now. Pitcher margaritas in hand, toes in the water, Anthony reapplying my sunscreen. Heaven, I'm so excited. I just ran a half marathon this past weekend, which was supposed to be a full. I did get an injury, so I did a half. But it was my 7th half marathon, if you can believe it, which is literally insane. So now I'm like, okay, maybe I'm gonna alter one of my goals from being like running a full marathon this year to running 10 half marathons this year. Not 10 in 1 year, but like I just hit 7, so like 3 more. As long as my injury heals. It's a glute injury, I broke my butt, basically. It's really lame if you ask me. Anthony's coming home kind of late from work tonight. He should be home in a minute actually, but I made myself dinner, something super quick and easy, and I actually packed my lunch for tomorrow because I'm going to be out of town for work all day tomorrow. But that is one of my New Year's resolutions slash like intentions for the year that I have been following, is like paying closer attention to my nutrition and actually implementing that. Usually I just eat out when I go out of town for work, but number one, we're trying to save money, we're buying a house. And number two, it's just easier and better to eat healthier if you bring your own food. So I'll show you what I packed tomorrow when I'm actually eating it. I feel like I did a pretty good job though. I have a crazy bug bite right here. Can you see that? Like, what bug did that? It hurts and it's ugly and it kind of looks like I have a hickey a little bit. Something that I've also been successfully doing is kind of like working on Project Pan, not buying new things before I finish the product that I already have. You're home finally. And vlogging. But yeah, I'm trying to do Project Pan. I'm not trying to buy new things when I don't actually need them. So. If you're chronically online, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say it's like Young Ho vibes to put Zap-Zit cream on my probably mosquito bite. It's okay, don't worry. I'll put Neosporin too. You could probably yell at me about that, but it is what it is. I use the Cocoa Kind Revitalizing Eye Cream under my eyes with the Ordinary Caffeine Solution together. Another thing I've been pretty good about is staying on top of my homework. As you know, I procrastinated anything and everything for the past year and a half.
and made myself literally miserable over it. And now I've been really good about, I love a planner. I use a planner every single day of my life. If it's not in my planner, it's not happening kind of thing. Except for I'll write down my school assignments and I'll just kind of push it because at my university, there's a 10% per week late policy. And in my head, I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. And then I'll turn it in a week or two late. But then I'll have all these big life events going on as well. Always, you know, like there's always something like birthdays, I'm training for a race, trying to maintain my health, or something with family, or like my girlfriend's having a baby, we're buying a house, and it's like, just don't be late on your assignments, and maybe it wouldn't be so stressful. What a crazy idea. I have a busy couple of next days, so I'm gonna do my discussion post for the week that's due on Saturday tonight, even though it's only Wednesday.
Friday, March 27th. We just got back from the gym, so that's why I look kind of oily and sweaty, because I am. Yesterday, I spent literally the whole day out of town, like a full 12 hours. I came home, it was opening day for baseball, so we watched the Dodgers game, and they won. Super exciting. We are Dodger fans in this household, in case you were wondering. Both of our cats have little like Dodger handkerchiefs as well, so. Anthony's an OG fan too, not since they've been winning. Don't get it twisted. But anyways, yesterday was a really long work day for me, and I showed you what I packed to eat, which is something that I'm really proud of myself for, like being more mindful of what I've been eating, like I've been saying, but also something that I mentioned in my last video as like a New Year's resolution slash like goal habit for 2026 was getting up and having a schedule in the mornings before I start work. And I will say I'm like partially succeeding at this. I would love to be getting up early. Like I would love to be getting up at like the 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock hour. And to be fair, I feel like I'm getting up in the 7 o'clock hour, but like closer to 8 most days, especially if I don't have meetings. But usually my meetings, the earliest they'll start are like 9:30 or 10. So even getting up at like 7 or 8 is not that bad. Whereas before I was waiting to the last minute to get up, rushing, sitting at my desk and immediately starting work, like not having any time for myself. Now, even though I'm not getting up as early as I would like to, I am having enough time to like make my coffee, sit with the birds, have a quiet morning, cuddle with the kitties, eat a protein-filled breakfast, either like talk with my mom, journal. If I want to scroll on my phone, I'll do that, even though it's not really good for me. And I have some time to myself in the mornings before I start work, which has been really nice. Last year I just had really poor time management, so this year I've been doing a lot better. I do a lot of report writing for my job, so I've actually been staying on top of my report writing in addition to my schoolwork, which has been really impressive and different for me. I know that I'm capable, and like I'm just now showing myself that that is true. So I have been succeeding at having a better schedule, or like implementing a little bit of a schedule. One shortcoming that I'm not going to show you and I'm not going to lie about is I have not been pursuing my hobbies really. That's something that I want to pursue this year, and I have made an intention to do so, but with everything going on, I just haven't had the time, to be quite frank with you. I haven't put aside the time to make candles or get into sewing or like focus on my knitting or anything like that. I will say the one hobby that I have been like kind of keeping up with is definitely reading. I'll probably catch up with you later tonight about that because I am reading the Throne of Glass series, and also Sarah J Maas is coming out with a Avatar 6, so we'll talk about that later when I'm actually reading and in bed, because that's when I do it. Yeah, the habits that I'm happy with so far are definitely like schedule building, time management, and I just got back from the gym. I think that's like my 4th time going this week, and I've been keeping up with running. Even though I didn't do a full marathon, I did a half, so things are going well. They're looking up. And I've been staying on top of my schoolwork, which is a huge one for me. So big. So it's kind of a small update. Tonight we're going to a birthday dinner for Anthony's dad. Kind of excited about that. It's always nice to go and celebrate, but since Anthony and I, another goal that I'm going to probably tack on is like being financially aware, budgeting, and since we're going to a steakhouse, usually Anthony and I kind of ball out. We'll get a glass of wine, we'll get an appetizer, we'll both get a steak. That works up the bill real quick. So now that we're buying a house, we're actually going to eat dinner before we go. And when we do go, we're probably just going to share like an appetizer and maybe bring a bottle of wine and then like pay the opening charge that they, you know, have you pay. So hopefully we'll be spending around like 40-50 bucks instead of like 100 between the two of us. Every small thing makes a difference, you know? Gotta take your wins where you can get them. Yeah, I do have to say that I'm really happy that my mornings feel like my own again, whereas last year work was kind of taking over them. So definitely some improvement on that part. Good evening. It's currently like 11:30 p.m. We went to dinner with Anthony's family. We had a very nice time. We were able to open our bottle of wine that we brought for free. I feel like that never happens. I feel like if you bring your own wine, then they usually charge like an opening service fee or something like that, but we got lucky. But now I'm all showered and cozied up in bed, but I've been really enjoying reading before bed, and I did set a goal to read kind of an ambitious amount of books this year, so it's a good thing that I'm still into it. And I will say, like, what kind of got me back into my reading, because I used to like reading when I was a kid, but what got me back into it was the Avatar series. In like 2023 I started reading it. I had never read fantasy before. That was the first series that I ever read, and I feel like it was very easily digestible, and I really enjoyed it. I grew up reading like Harry Potter, so kind of like sci-fi stuff. I just didn't think that I would really enjoy fantasy, but I do love it. So I did read all of Avatar. Then I read Throne of Glass, and I said that I was reading Throne of Glass right now, but I'm not. I finished Throne of Glass, and now I'm reading Crescent City, and I'm on the second book, I think. The House of Flame and Shadow, and I just like barely started it. I'm only 20% of the way in, and I'm on page 160. So I think I just have one more book after this, I think, right? I think this is the second one, but then I will have finished like the 3 different series that like all connect. It's like a multi-universe thing, it all connects. Just in time for another book to come out, Avatar number 6. There's 2 parts coming out apparently. The first part comes out in October, I think, and then the second one comes out in January, which I'm super jazzed for. So but yeah, this is one of those like hobbies or interests that I set for myself this year that I wanted to be intentional and consistent with, and I have been. Very happy to report. It also kind of helps me like calm my brain down at night and stuff, and like I do so much reading and writing for my job and for school that it's just kind of nice to like read for fun. Like, this is not productive in any way, shape, or form, and I know that, I understand that, but that's the point. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'm gonna read this for a little bit and then go to bed. I do want to be asleep by like midnight, and it's 11:30 right now, so my girlfriend's baby shower is tomorrow. But otherwise, we don't really have any plans this weekend, so I'm gonna see, we'll see what I get up to. I would like to do some things that are productive, but also rest. Like I said, we're buying this house. It's just been like crazy. We've gotten some crazy news over the past couple of days. Like everything's fine. It's going well, but just like escrow is a mess. Being an adult is literally insane. I need to read my silly book and unwind. I'll tell you that much. Some like floating goals that I have for the weekend include I would like to get a run in and I would like to do homework. So somebody's coming to visit me. Come say hi. This is Pebbles. Say hello. She likes to open the biscuit factory at nighttime. She's our nocturnal girl. She's more shy. But she gets so cuddly at night, doesn't she? This is her spring scarf. It has flowers on it. It's a little beat up one. It's got butterflies too. But Ginger, our other cat, is a big old bully and kind of scratches at her, so that's why it's all crazy looking. This little girl had a UTI the other day. Had to take her to the emergency vet. $700 later. She gets some antibiotics and she's doing okay. But that's all that matters, right? That is all that matters. Yes. Okay. I think it started reading in cuddle time, isn't it? Yes. Oh. Okay. Say good night.
It's now Sunday at 7:20 p.m. I've had the whole weekend. We've just been really busy. We've been bopping around here and there. I was just doing some homework, so I did get some homework done like I said I wanted to, but I haven't gotten a run in. And it's already getting a little bit dark. It's not dark yet, but it's gonna get dark quick, so I'm wearing my Let It vest and I'm gonna try and run between 3 to 4 miles. This is me holding myself accountable. I would rather just take a shower and lay in bed right now, but I know it's gonna feel good to run, so we're gonna do it. Just in mile 1 and almost stepped on the grasshopper. There's so many bugs. I'm so grossed out right now. I've eaten so many nuts at the 1.5 mark and I've decided to go for the full 4. So I only have to run a half mile more one way. Girl math, right? Okay, mile 2, turning around, and my Let It vest has died, which is super great. Great timing, right? Mile 3, only 1 more to go. Feeling super sweaty because it's so humid out, which is weird because I live in a desert climate, but humidity is here. And it's only March. Pray for me this summer for sure. We finished the 4 miles. Did not eat any more bugs, if you could believe it. It felt really good. It's really humid out. My light died. I feel like all the odds are kind of like against me on this run. I didn't want to do it, but I talked myself into it. And I'm really thankful that I did because it felt really good. And I kept the promise that I made to myself, and that's the most important thing. But I think I'm going to end the vlog here. So thank you for hanging out with me and listening to my quarter of the year updates. One of my biggest goals is to actually keep sharing and keep posting because I think it's so fun to look back on. Even if nobody else watches it, I like to look back on it. I watch my full marathon vlog all the time, and I posted it like 2 years ago. So see you in the next one.